Okay, sorry about that, everybody. I'm back now. Just trying to figure out what's going on and make sure that it's showing up. And if you were with me before, I hope you come on back in. First and foremost, what's happening, everybody? It's your boy Leo. Welcome back to the bird section. Just figure I'd come on and talk about all the things that are happening, that's been happening today. That being, the fact that Terry McLaurin, the wide receiver for the Washington Commanders, has officially submitted his request to be traded. He did that yesterday. And then lo and behold, today, this afternoon, Micah Parsons submits his request to be traded from the Dallas Cowboys. And if you're looking at the title of this live, I put the Dallas Hostages because at this point, when you look at the way things are set up, officially, Micah can, say he wants to be traded all he wants, but fact of the matter is that the Dallas Cowboys do own his rights. And so, you know, Micah's not gonna, if he doesn't get traded, they can sit on him for a year because he's still under contract for his fifth year. Then they can franchise him, okay? And then they can franchise him again. And so, like at that point, Micah's basically a hostage, and so if the Cowboys were smart, they'd figure out a way to um get him. Okay, there we go. They'd figure out a way to get him signed. And unfortunately, okay. What's up, Chris? What's up, Chris? How you doing, bro? A Laura Brunson hat. Someone throws. Hey, look, it's not just a Laura Brunson hat, too. It's the ski mask Howie. Because you know what? Gotta call a spade, bruh. You know what I'm saying? And I mean, I'm calling it like I see it and keeping it all the way a buck just so that, we're clear. You know what I'm saying? LB was right. Chris LB was right. You know, Philly 500 looking like he was right. You know, like, hey, been saying it for years. Micah don't want to be there. He's not going to want to be there. Okay, and look at what you know. Right now, I'm renaming that fan base. I'm renaming that team. You know, I'm renaming them. They're no longer they're not going to be the Dallas Cowboys this year. They're going to be the Dallas Hostages. Okay, and what's interesting is that this is literally setting itself up to be a mirror image. I don't know. I don't know. I doubt it. But I think that this is literally being set up to be the mirror image of what happened with Saquon. Remember how New York sat on him, franchised him, didn't want to, they didn't want to sign him, all this stuff. I mean, it is like what, huh? And then what ended up happening? He ended up leaving because they couldn't franchise. They didn't want to franchise him again. And then he signed with us, and then he got his ring. Hmm. Mm. You know, and the best part about this is that as an Eagles fan, what's up, Jesse? Oh yeah, Jesse. Look, bruh. I know y'all wait. Jesse, is this does what you see happening with Micah look at all familiar? Does this not look like? Yeah, I'm giving the PTSD because this is like I'm looking at this like I've seen this before. Where did I see this before? Oh yeah, Saquon. And everybody kept saying, get that deal done, sign him early. And they still wouldn't do it. They still would not sign this man early. And now look at where you at. He put an official request to be traded. So even if they were to do now here's the thing. The fan base is under the illusion that if you sign Micah to however much money or whatever, that it's going to be the same sort of effect on him as it was with Myles Garrett. And that could be the case. But see, what you don't realize is that what is this doing to the team today? What is this doing to the team tomorrow? What is this doing to the team next week? Okay? Even if y'all wait till if the Cowboys wait till the first day to the last hour before the first game of the year against us in Philly to sign him, you know, what is that? What is, from a morale standpoint, what message have you sent to what kind of mental and emotional damage have you done to your team between now and September 4th? Because to be quite honest with you, until now and September 4th, every single day, somebody on the team or someone in the front office is going to have to answer a question about Micah Parsons and his contract. I see how the team has rallied around Micah today, but what happens 3 weeks from now? At what point does the fan base actually going to start turning on Micah? When are they going to start? And listen, guys, if you're in the chat, please hit the like and hit the like button and subscribe. Hold on, Jesse. Might be giving us PTSD, but I'm sure he got something to fix that. I sure do. And I'm sitting here with it. I was just staring at it too, Chris. And Jesse says it's a zoo at Cowboys Fanhood, and all the fans are losing it. They will sign them at the banner ceremony. Watch, yeah. Yes. Look, here's the thing, right? Because there's a couple of things that are afoot here. You know what I'm saying? Because I think this is going to be worse for the Cowboys than it was for the Giants, only because the Cowboys watched this go down with New York, and you actually didn't learn anything. They didn't learn. They didn't say, well, we need to avoid doing that. No, what they did was they ran right for it. And look at where you are today. You know, there's all this, oh, Micah be fine. Oh, come on, people. Micah's not going anywhere. Okay, cool. He's not going anywhere. So Micah's a hostage now. That's what y'all got. Okay, you got a hostage. All right. Here's the what is. The what is that Micah has officially submitted his request to be traded. The what is that he does not want to play for you anymore. That's the what is. The what is DeMarcus Lawrence is looking like a prophet right now. DeMarcus Lawrence is laughing right now alongside every other fan base not named Dallas or Washington. That is the what is. Yes, you guys do have him under contract for next year, for this year. Yes, you guys can franchise him 2 more times after this year. Got that. But at the end of the day, he is a hostage. It's funny, when we had Dan Snyder as ownership, we were literally the biggest joke in the league. Funny how things change when it starts from the top and culture in place. Chris Dooley, you ain't never lie, bro. You ain't never lie. You know, I have been saying that this fan base is this fan base is under a mass delusion. You know what I'm saying? I just got finished watching Game Time Brian and Prime Time Phil doing their little live, and it's funny watching them do their best to try to stand tall and act like oh, it's okay, this is what we got. Leo, if they give us a contract he wants, he'll change his attitude. Money always does that. And I said that. I said that may be the case, but here's the thing, though. Jesse, from an emotional standpoint, from a morale standpoint, in that locker room, what is this doing? You know what I'm saying? I can guarantee you, George Pickens, he ain't gonna say nothing right now because he in that locker room. But I know George Pickens is looking at this organization like the fuck. Oh hell no, I ain't re-signing here. Shit. If they can do this to Micah Parsons, and he's the best player on the team, if they can do this to Micah Parsons, what you think they're gonna do to me? You really think I want to get caught up in all this drama? You know what I'm saying? Like all this, so it's like listening to these guys, like, do you realize how much egg is on their faces right now? To say, like when you say, oh, don't worry, everybody, Mike ain't going nowhere. He's still under contract and we can franchise tag him. Let me tell you something. That's not the flex that you think it is. Okay, that is not the flex. And let me tell you something else. I'm coming from a point of experience myself because I could tell you right now, when Brian Dawkins left, our locker room, it took years plural, for us to get over that. And we didn't really get over losing Brian Dawkins until Malcolm Jenkins got here. And then we went on and win the Super Bowl. But I'm just saying, it does have an effect, okay? It does have an effect on all these players because guess what? Nobody, like everybody who's coming into a contract year and everything like that, so what? You got Jake Ferguson done. I mean, listen, it's so bad right now. They had to bring La'el Collins back. And they said it like it's a flex. I mean, think about it. How the Philly fans treated Jerry and Steven last year at the game. This would be a great big middle finger to your fan base. Leo took 2 years ahead of players is going to want to be there unless they overpay for them to be there. The locker room wants them to get paid. Yeah. Hey, I don't. I said it looks like the team is rallied around them right now. You know what I'm saying? But this is peaks and valleys. Okay, it's all peaks and valleys. And right now, the way it's looking to me, if you ask me, the way it's looking is looking like he's a hostage right now. Officially, in my opinion, he's a hostage. You don't want to be there. He said it. You know what I'm saying? I get it. Same thing. Hey, look, Myles Garrett did the same thing, but you know what I'm saying? Myles Garrett doesn't have the same ownership that Mike is dealing with. Okay. And to be honest with you, at least that ownership is known for overpaying for stuff when they shouldn't, a la Deshaun Watson. So, I'm just saying, fellas, like what the math ain't math in here. Okay. Hold on. Yeah, Lyle is just a guy. He's a camp body. I get it, but I'm just saying, like that tells you, hey, guess what? There is some relevant football activity stuff to talk about when it comes to the Dallas Cowboys. Okay, not taking that away. You know what I'm saying? There's some things to discuss. Hey, is Dak and his relationship with George Pickens, is that coming? Is that looking good? How's him and CD? They're throwing the ball, all that stuff. Is Jadon Blue running well? Da 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 da. That's all legitimate. Concerns, football related concerns. The problem is that when you have an owner who undermines all that goodwill that's been created, you get this. That's what nobody's talking. The news of the day with Dallas has nothing to do with football and everything to do with y'all got a hostage on your hands. You know what I'm saying? You actually got a hostage on your hands. What happens if Diggs decides he wants to put in his trade request too? That would be something. Okay, what happens then? What y'all gonna do? Like listen, you got some fans who are so upset or who have egg on their faces so bad that they're even exploring what kind of compensation you could get from Michael Parsons. That's what they want to do now. Okay, he's got listen, for most of these content creators, who are from the Dallas Cowboys, stop worrying about what we saying. Stop paying so much attention to how we're laughing at you, because we're all laughing at you. You know what I'm saying? This is funny to us. We're wallowing in your misery. Yup, I'm having a great time. Okay? I am having a ball watching y'all having to go through this. You know what I'm saying? I'm having a ball. It don't take much to strike a nerve with you guys these days. Say something like, I don't know, Dak is partially responsible for your playoff losses. You know what I'm saying? You ain't even gotta say it's all his fault. All you gotta do is say it's just a little bit, or he was just a small contributor. You know what I'm saying? And that'll strike a nerve. They'll go off. You know what I'm saying? They'll get mad. You know, and then and all these stats and all this other stuff. You know what I'm saying? Like, do you all have any idea how embarrassing this must be, even for Micah, after he sat there and talked all that shit when D Law was like, "I ain't never gonna win a championship in Dallas." What? You know what I'm saying? I tell you this much: after all of this, regardless of how much money Micah gets, he'll never get to where he won't be a company man anymore. He won't be so much of he'll just do what he's required to do and nothing more. Okay? That's what y'all have done, and that's what you fail to realize. You guys are not looking at beyond what this means for the team as a whole moving forward. You really think that, oh, we give Micah this contract and that's it? All the problems are gone? Hell no. Y'all just, hey, listen, after the day, after today, guess what? The playoffs got canceled for y'all. Y'all not playing. Y'all not going to the playoffs. Okay? Especially if this is still a lingering thing through the rest of training camp and going into the season, y'all not going to the playoffs. Y'all not going to get that Hall of Famer type of player from that Hall of Fame type of effort from Micah Parsons anymore. Okay, he ain't gonna trust y'all. No, he don't trust y'all. You know what I'm saying? He don't trust you. He's not gonna trust. He's not gonna trust the. He's not gonna trust the ownership. And give it some more time. We'll just wait. You know what I'm saying? Guess what? He's not even gonna trust the fan base anymore. It's just what it is. I doubt that, Leo. He's got competitor heart. There's no way you're going to keep him from going out on that football field. He'll be doing it for him and not the owner. At what point, you can't even make this shit up. Y'all really? Oh my goodness gracious, Lord have mercy. This fan base is. You guys, you know what? You guys are amazing. You guys are absolutely amazing. You know what I'm saying? Chris Dooley, thank you, brother, for coming on here. Jesse Montanez, what's good? CZ, what's good? Dirty Sanchez, you know what I'm saying? Happy to have you here, bro. You know what I'm saying? I know this is really like it's hard to be. I get it. I get it. Believe me, I get it. But I'm saying bruh, look at this, and if you haven't already, please hit the like button. You can even hit the dislike button. I don't really care at this point, because this is all about what are y'all doing. And you know what? Let me hop off of Dallas for a hot second. The Dallas Hostages, because if you haven't heard yet, I just renamed the team. Okay, the team formerly known as the Dallas Cowboys will now be known moving forward as the Dallas Hostages. Okay, sorry about that, Jesse. You know what I'm saying? Dirty Sanchez says, I'm talking about the competition in them. You can't keep that from coming out. I'm a competitor, and I don't give a damn what's going on around me. When I compete, I go all out. Hence why I preference this my original statement with, you're not going to get Hall of Famer type of effort. Now, anything less than that, you still probably get a Pro Bowl out of him. You know what I'm saying? It's still going to be more better than average. It's going to be better than good. You know what I'm saying? But Hall of Famer type effort, What for? He's not appreciated. What for? You know what I'm saying? Like you got the ownership talking about he needs to want to get paid, huh? What else do he got to do? But I digress. I just want to say I'm going to jump off of them for a hot second, and I'm going to talk about the Washington Commanders. This is a different type of scenario and scene here. Wait a minute. He says, "Yeah, you will. You'll get him to come out, or when he comes to the playoffs, he will come out." Okay, yeah, like he came out in all the other playoffs. Okay, right. Anywho, so the Washington Commanders is a bit of a unique situation only because I think they have a wide receiver, Terry McLaurin, who thinks he's worth more than what the team may be willing to pay him. You know what I'm saying? Or what his market value may actually be. Yes, he's the number one. He's been the number one wide receiver on that team for a number of years, but in comparison to other number one A or 1B, teams, Terry McLaurin at this point in his career is more of a 1B, and the Commanders still need a 1A type of wide receiver. And a 1B who's going to be 30 years old is not worth 30 plus million a year. It's just, it's not that. That's not the case. You know, Close to it, yeah, but 30 plus, no, because he's going to be 30. So, that whole thing, and again, can't really predict or speculate on what they may or may not do because I don't really know this ownership. This ownership is brand new, so I don't know what their tendencies are. Nobody knows. What we do know is that they ain't quick to sign. You know what I'm saying, or they may not think that much of them. hmm You know, so look, as an Eagles fan, you know what I'm saying. I like to propose something. Y'all want J Dot back? When y'all get rid of Terry, y'all want J Dot Black back? You know what I'm saying? Give us something for him. Make us an offer. You know what I'm saying? He's younger than Terry. You know what I'm saying? Hey, Debo will easily be your 1A. You know what I'm saying? And you can make J Dot your 1B. You know what I'm saying? Would it be a formidable wide receiver tandem? No, but at least they'll be serviceable. So if just holler at your boy if you want to talk that trade. You know what I'm saying? Now, going back to the back to the Dallas hostages, man. I don't know what I'm still trying to figure out like what would be a good landing spot from. Jesse says, Leo, remember the owner of Washington is the Sixers, and look at the shit show going there. Exactly. I just don't know them in football, but in basketball, yeah, I know. You know what I'm saying? I know. Trust the process. You know what I'm saying? And all that shit. Yeah. He will get 29 to 30. The agent played his card. We already fleeced you in that trade. Okay, Chris. Okay. 55. And we're the ones fleeced. 55, and we're the one that's fleeced. You know what I'm saying? Let me tell you how bad it is. Let me tell you another thing too, because I saw this earlier today with a couple of Washington hostages, Dallas hostages, content creators. It's so bad for them right now that in order to feel better, they're looking at they're looking at Madden ratings, the way Madden has rated their defense,
and that's their flex. Yeah, see, you know, it's gotta 55. Yeah, it's got to be uh 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 uh. You know, he set us up. I tell you what, he didn't do much in that 55, but he sure enough set us up for our first score in the Super Bowl. You know what I'm saying? And from my understanding, I think J Dot has a ring now. You know what I'm saying? He got a ring. He had a chance to play in a winning culture. You know what I'm saying? You guys, the Washington Bummanders, you know what I'm saying? The Washington Bummanders overachieved. You guys overachieved. You know what I'm saying? And now that we got a year's worth of tape, we understand your tendencies, your offensive tendencies, your defensive tendencies. Okay, because you guys are like the league's oldest team right now. So right, got you. Laugh out loud. That's Brian. I can't stand in the video games. Listen, man. Them dudes, yeah, them dudes. That's where they had to go. Dirty. They had to go into Madden ratings in order to find some sort of woo 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 woo. And I'm a stand on business when I say to y'all, like sitting there telling the fan base, don't worry, everybody, he ain't going nowhere. All right. Y'all keep playing. Y'all play big games, y'all gonna have to deal with big prizes. You know what I'm saying? And y'all better stop. Okay. Y'all better stop. The biggest thing, our biggest concern right now is health. That's our biggest concern. You know what I'm saying? After that, everything else has to deal with just football. See, when you talk about the Philadelphia Eagles and our shortcomings or whatever they may be, all of our shortcomings this year have to do with on-field activities. That's it. The question marks that you have about our team have everything to do with on the field. You know what I'm saying? Our players are happy with their contracts because, you know what I'm saying, our front office is always trying to think of ways in which we can get better. You know what I'm saying? We draft guys, we develop guys, and then we sign them. And when they do a good job, we reward them even more. I look at how we reworked Saquon's contract to get him even more money after he went for 2,000. So here we go. So Chris, Chris, Dirty, all you, Bamander fans and Hostages fans. Dirty Sanchez says, "Well, let me ask you something. Wait a minute, Leo. That's all teams' injuries dictate seasons. Correct. Well, let me ask you something, Leo. Do you think they ramp these players up too fast, and that's why they're getting hurt before game one? Oh, see, it starts. Everybody didn't take long. Didn't take long for the delusion to show his face. There you go. I knew I wasn't crazy. There you go. A Dallas Hostages fan just proved it right there. He's on that. He's on that Jerry Jones drink right now. You know what I'm saying? Because Jerry's like, I don't want to pay nobody. Then I pay him, and as soon as I pay him, they get hurt. So that's what the delay is. That's what. Okay. Listen, man. I don't care what you say, but we've had AJ and Devontae, Dallas Goedert sold up for the last 3 years, 4 years, 2, 3 years, yeah, and then got them sold up again for the next 2 to 3 years. So, huh? You know what I'm saying? Plus our quarterback, we got our quarterback sold up. You guys have the highest paid quarterback in the league. You know what I'm saying? You overpaid for your 1A wide receiver. You know what I'm saying? You imported a 1B wide receiver who's looking at y'all like y'all crazy right now. Okay? And y'all and then you turn around and you shitted on your best player on your whole team, which is your defensive end, Micah Parsons. Like, come on. Stop. 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 Y'all keep doing and then that's why I said this is like the worst game of hide and seek because Jesse and the rest of the league, we all looking at y'all like, we see you, right? We see you right there. And you're trying to, like, look, this is what I have to say to all Dallas, the entire Dallas Hostages fan base. Okay? Spend less time worrying about us laughing at you and what Stephen A. Smith is saying to you, and spend more time worrying about what your team is actually going to do and how y'all going to afford these players. When are y'all going to start signing players early, locking them up, developing them? You know what I'm saying? Look, y'all took money from Diggs because he decided to go rehab somewhere outside of Dallas. So even when a player's hurt, they don't really.
They don't even. Uh-oh. Hold on. Sorry about that, y'all. Hold on. Ugh. Apologize.
But I accidentally hit the power, but power yanked the cord out my mic. The practice is soft these days. Football shape takes longer due to players union. Dirty Sanchez says, dude, that's a real question. That's what I've always thought, because players are always getting hurt before they even see their first game. It's the NFL, bro. It's the NFL. You might want to take a look at your training staff too. Why are players always getting hurt? Hmm? Hmm? You know what I'm saying? Why is that in Dallas, huh? Why? Explain that to me. I want to know. At Leo, the practices. So why is it taking so long for them to come back, huh? Hmm? Help me to understand. Tell me. Tell me how this is. Tell me how this is working for y'all. Tell me, like, if it was as simple as you all like to make it sound, how is it possible that you are here again? Year after year. It's not just Dallas, Leo. It's across the whole league. Okay, but it seems like you guys are the only. The Dallas Hostages is the only team who's adverse to making sure that they get their guys sold up. Matter of fact, the biggest hostage on your team says it. It's tough when I look around the league and I see guys getting their money, they getting signed, and here I am doing everything, and they've done less to get signed than what he's done. And instead of getting signed, he's getting thrown under the bus by the ownership. See, there is no. Let me explain something to you. Let me explain something to everybody within earshot of my voice right now. Okay, regardless of where you stand on this or whatever. All right, but understand something. Okay, um, attitude is a reflection of leadership. Okay, attitude is a reflection of leadership, and so when you're sitting there and you're a generational talent, a potential Hall of Fame. You're on a Hall of Fame trajectory in your career, such as the one that Michael Parsons seems to be on right now. You know, the one thing you don't do is you've been sipping that Hennessy, haven't you? I don't really drink like that, but yeah, keep it all the way a buck. Yeah, I do got a little bit of white Henny, on the side. I keep it on deck. But I'm just saying right now, it does not there is what you all need to understand, that there is no combination of words, okay? No combination of words that is going to that any Dallas Hostages content creator is going to say or use that's going to make everybody be like, oh, okay, yeah, that makes sense. So stop. Just stop. Okay. I don't care what data you have and all this other stuff. Just stop. So what? This is how they've done things. Well, guess what? The way they've been doing things does not produce playoff wins or Super Bowls. The way they've been doing things. If this is just a sign of just how they do things, then go ahead and cancel the playoffs then. Let's just cancel the playoffs if this is how they do. Leo, Micah, after seeing the Dak shit show, knew what was going to happen to him. I think, you know what, Jesse? No joke. I think you are right. I do. I think that you are right. Okay. I think that's why he was trying hard to get this done early and would have taken less. But I think you are 1,000% right. I think he knew this was going to happen. You know what I'm saying? I don't think he's surprised at all. Okay. You know what I'm saying? I think Leo, Mike, Jesse, I 1,000% agree with you. You know what I'm saying? I 1,000% agree with you. So, yeah, I'm a little less. I'm not all that impressed. Excuse me. I have to dip off because I got a fan right here, and every time I want to take a pull, I gotta get out of the way of the downwind. But man, you know what I'm saying? This here today has been the shit show that is the Dallas hostages and the shit show that is the Washington Commanders. Man. Oh, and the other night I was on Game Time Bryant's, Zoom crew call-in show with Terrence Parsons. And Terrence Parsons was saying like I said he was delusional, and the things that he was saying, if y'all go back and watch that and then compare it to what just happened 24 hours later or 36 hours after that Zoom call, really, really, you know what I'm saying? I think Laura Brunson might be on to something. Okay, I think Laura Brunson might be on to something, and I said it in my last live that I think the problem that people like Terrence Parsons and Game Time Brian is that in their worlds, they are the big dick in their worlds, whether it be professionally or on their YouTube channels. They are the big dicks. The problem with that is people like them don't do well when they come across bigger dicks. And what I mean by that, meaning, people who just, because look, I was interesting listening to Game Time Brian's choice of words when describing Laura Brunson, and he described them as toxic, and I remember thinking like, wow, I realized, you know what? I think the problem that people like him have is that number one, Laura Brunson is a veteran, right? And I said this. I said he's been down range because he talks about it, and he said that he's kicked in some doors before. I heard him say that before. So if that's the case, then that means that he was an 11 Bravo. And if y'all don't know what an 11 Bravo is an 11 Bravo is an infantryman. Okay, and the one thing that 11 Bravos, people like Laura Brunson, the problem with them is that they have multiple, not one, but multiple PhDs in shit talking. They specialize in that. And and their specialty in their shit talking is that it's all truth. You may not like the way they put it. It might hurt the way it comes in, but it is true what they're saying. So if he stung, if he snapped you, you know what I'm saying? You probably deserved it. But secondly, it's probably because, listen, man, that's a former non-commissioned officer of the United States Army. You're not going. So if you're someone, if you're infantry guy, if you're someone who's not accustomed to being around those kind of people, if you are someone who is not accustomed to dealing with that type of energy that comes from him, I can see how Game Time would think that he's toxic. I can get it. But the one thing, Game Time will tell you, because if you listen to the way Game Time talks about Laura Brunson, you know what I'm saying? And if you listen to the way Terrence Parsons talks about Laura Brunson, their choice of words, toxic, he's mean, da 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 da. But guess what they don't call him? A liar. They never call him a liar. Okay? They'll never they won't tell you he's Leo, look how I hurt Brian's feelings. Yes, Jesse. Oh, listen, Jesse, right now, him, Primetime Phil, and the rest of the Dallas Hostages fan base are in their feelings. They're raw right now. Okay. So it ain't gonna take much to poke them to get them going. You know what I'm saying? And as soon as you get him going, he'll say something, like he'll be like, yeah, yeah. Well, you know what? If you don't like it, it's my channel. My channel. My channel. That's the first thing he'll do. You know what I'm saying? The first thing they'll do. He gets possessive. You know what I'm saying? Like they were saying, Leo, you stole the mic. You. I was like, well, whoa, no, I didn't. I was cool. I was cool. You know what I'm saying? If Terrence directly came at me or something like that, yeah, I shot back or what have you. But I wasn't being long winded. I intentionally, I wasn't trying to be the focus. The focus was on Terrence Parsons, and I wanted to hear everything he had to say. You know what I'm saying? It was my honor, Chris. You know what I'm saying? But to be honest with you, you know what I'm saying? Uh, being that ouchie, yeah, you know what I'm saying? But to be honest with you, it was all about Terrence Parsons that night. So to say that Leo took over the interview and Leo was, talking to, all right, whatever. Y'all just raw right now. You know what I'm saying? Y'all hate me. Y'all can't stand y'all. You know why you can't stand us? Because when you think about the class of the NFC East, it ain't Dallas or Washington that they think about. It's us. When you think about, hey, y'all just, yeah, hey, Chris, the Dallas Hostages had to watch our two teams play against each other in an NFC Championship game. Do you realize how hard that must have been for them? Terrence didn't want to hear my question about his brother's production in the playoffs. He tried stopping me, but I need to finish my point. Chris, listen. If there was anybody, I heard Game Time cut you off a few times. He cut off a lot of people, and even cut Terrence Parsons off. You know what I'm saying? Chris, I heard you ask him a question, and I'm talking about Terrence Parsons, right? I heard you ask Terrence Parsons a question, and Game Time kept answering it. Game Time kept jumping, kept running to Terrence Parsons' defense like he needed to be defended. And Terrence Parsons even said a couple of times, like, no, I like it. I'm cool. Da 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 da. You know what I'm saying? That's like go back and listen. All like Terrence Parsons kept saying, go back and look at the film. Go back and look at the film. Go back and look at that. Look at that Terrence Parsons interview, that call-in show, or what have you. Go look at it. You know what I'm saying? Go look at how every time someone was about to, try to have a meaningful dialogue or engagement with Terrence Parsons, ask yourself, look at how many times when someone asked him a question, Game Time answered it. How many times did Game Time, Brian, cut off Terrence Parsons? I didn't cut him off. Okay. You know what I'm saying? And if you really look at it, there's a couple of times where I asked a question or someone else said something, and Terrence Parsons elevated his voice. Terrence Parsons got, it was like he got poked too. You know what I'm saying? So, it was crazy. And then he gets on his channel the next day and says Leo was being too long. Leo was trying to take over the interview and everything like that. And it was like, what? You know what I'm saying? Nah. You know what? Because you know what Leo didn't do? Leo did not put you in a position where Leo did not put Game Time Brian in a position where Game Time Brian would have to say, Leo, this is my channel. Mine. I wasn't doing that. I wasn't trying to do that. You know what I'm saying? A few weeks ago, I had my business partner Eugene Monroe, who retired, played for the Baltimore Ravens, come on Mark Holmes' show, and people were making comments that, "Wow, Leo, this is the quiet I've ever heard you." Uh, uh, at Leo, when I heard that Mike had never wanted Lawrence Taylor's tape and wanted his records, that made me realize that he ain't proven. You know what? I understand. I get what you're saying, Jesse. But there was a point where, you know what I'm saying, when I had Eugene and people was like, "Oh, Leo, that's the quietest I ever heard you," blah 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 blah. And I told everybody my what I wanted in that interview with Eugene for you guys. I wanted y'all to experience him like I do all the time, every day, because it's different when you have to when you're talking to a professional football player, someone who's played at this level, and you have to, like, trust me when I tell you, my shit talking has to be on point when you're dealing with a former player. And there have been plenty of times where I have gotten the best of Eugene in a argument. There have been plenty of times where I've told Eugene something about football, or not football, but something about what the state of the sport or where we are and all this other stuff, data and everything that he himself didn't know, and then would look up and be like, "Okay, yeah, you got that." You know what I'm saying? There was a lot of things, there was a lot of points. So it does happen, but that was not the point that day. That day, all I wanted was for you guys to experience him like I do, because there have been plenty of times where I have said, I wish other people could hear what you say, rather it just being just me. You know what I'm saying? And so that's why I was quiet. And I took that same approach once I realized that Terrence Parsons was going to be on this call-in show. You know what I'm saying? Because I don't know if Game Time told me or not, but I didn't know that Terrence Parsons was going to be on there until he actually popped on. I was like, "Oh shit, that's Terrence Parsons." You know what I'm saying? If I'd have known that, I'd have wore all this that night. You know what I'm saying? But I'm just saying, like, I don't get the whole, you took over and you did this and you did that. Nah, I didn't. Nah. And it seemed to me like Terrence Parsons really appreciated the intellectual type, because he told me he's met some pretty he hates Eagles fans, but is always willing to have a spirited, lively debate, so long as it remains respectful. And I thought that I was being very respectful. I thought I was being very respectful towards Game Time, and I thought I was being very respectful of the room. I don't think you cut people off by any means. You're just handing out medicine, but some people just don't want to take it. Same with Drew. He might piss Cowboy fans off, but he's really spitting. And you know what, Chris? Let me tell you something, because I've had this conversation with Drew too. And I told Drew, I remember telling him, I was like, Drew, it doesn't matter how right you may be. And a lot of that shit that he be saying, he's 1,000% right. Okay. The problem is that the way it comes across, because the way it comes across is that the way he talks, sometimes he talks like he's still suffering from PTSD from the days of us been losing. You know what I'm saying? When, saying we ain't got no rings. That was their biggest flex. You know what I'm saying? So thanks, Jesse. I thought so too. You know what I'm saying? But so I had to tell Drew, like, Drew, you're not that no more. We are not that. We are so removed from the days of losing. You know what I'm saying? We're so removed that we have to conduct. You're a winner now. You're a champion. You know what I'm saying? The way you talk right now has to be reflective of that. You know what I'm saying? Like, you can't be getting mad at them for saying the things that they saying the way that they saying it. You know what I'm saying? This is year 30 for them. Leo, if Momo was there, all hell would have broken loose. I agree. I 1,000,000% agree, because a lot of times the things that Momo has to say is not rooted in actual factuals. It's just his opinion, in terms of his opinion with no facts into it. You know what I'm saying? And it's like, and to be honest with you, I don't think Momo knows that much about his team. You know what I'm saying? I like, because he'll tell you, I don't like him. I don't, like, and sometimes it's like some of these stances that he takes, it's not productive. You know what I'm saying? When we have to sit there and spend a whole lot of time listening to him tell us why he no longer refers to the Bommanders as the Bommanders, and they'll always be the Redskins to him. I don't know, but it's just one of those things. Like, Momo gets he is able to get people to go down a particular type of rabbit hole I'm just not always interested in going down because sometimes the shit is just not funny. Sometimes it's most of the time it's funny. Sometimes it's just not. And yeah, Chris, I don't think he knows that much about the team. You know what I'm saying? And that's just, like he says a lot of stuff. It's like there's all this dialogue and everything like that, but then like there's nothing, like he couldn't tell you about the CBA, you know what I'm saying? He can't really tell you about, like he doesn't know who your offensive coordinator is, your defensive coordinator. He doesn't really know the players on the team like that. You can tell, you can really tell, so it's just, uh, remember, Leo, you wear the crown, but remember, it gets heavy with time, and us young teams are coming for you. Heavy is the head that wear the crown. Yup. Heavy is the head that wears the crown. You are absolutely right, Jesse, which is why you want to see a front office like the Philadelphia Eagles continuously try to do things to make the team better. We have a GM who's never satisfied. He's always looking. Hence why we're going, like, I think about the fact that I think we had 13 draft picks this past season, this past draft, and we have 13 coming up in 2026. So we're just we're gonna retool. You know what I'm saying? We're gonna get younger. You know what I'm saying? We have a really solid core group of guys. I really think that Jihad Campbell is going to be a force to be reckoned with. I really think that I think our linebacker core is just going to be outstanding. N'Kobe Dean might come back a lot sooner than people think he is, but when you're playing for a contract, yeah, you know what I'm saying. I think that Jeremiah Trotter is not letting this go easily either. So like, hey, Zach Bond, and I'm not worried about guys not practicing or who haven't been practicing, because you know what, if we're sitting them down for precaution out of an abundance of a precaution, I'm fine with that. These guys have earned it. You know what I'm saying? You got to remember there's a very large majority of guys on our team who have played almost close to 60 games in the last 3 years. That's crazy. 60 games. Okay? There are guys who have played almost 60 games in the last 3 years. You know what I'm saying? We got guys from the guys who were, and I'm talking about the guys who was on the Super Bowl team in 22 and who were on the Super Bowl team in 24. Okay? That was 20 games each. Okay? Each year. Plus the 18, so we're talking 58 games at least. There's a bunch of guys on that team who have played at least 58 games in the last 3 years. Almost 60. I'll be damned. I'll be damned. That's a lot, okay? That's a lot of games to have been played in the last 36 months. 58 games. Mm-hmm. Yeah. So if we're taking precaution and we're sitting guys down for back tightness and all this other stuff, okay, you know, and if and the one thing I'm comforted in is knowing that, listen, whatever is happening with our team this year, it's going to be just football related. Okay, it's not going to be out of some controversy that's drummed up and everything like that. And you know what, Jesse? Here's the other thing that Terrence said that kind of threw me for a loop, and it sort of kind of highlights where I think the Dallas Hostages fan base is, right? So I asked Terrence Parsons, I said, so what kind of throw or run or combination of such, what do you need to see in order for you to think that Jalen Hurts is an elite quarterback? And his answer was, I need to see him have a Lamar Jackson type of season. And I looked and I was like, and he was like, meaning I need to see him throw for over 4,000 yards and rush for like 40 yards and have a bunch of rushing yards and all this other stuff. And I was like, oh, okay. but those 4,000-yard throwing yards and 40 touchdowns and all this other stuff, that none of that added up to a Super Bowl. So, huh? Leo, I research my team daily, so I won't look like a full infantry. I always plan to have contingencies for the enemy. Exactly, exactly. Chris, you may know more than he does. Chris, it don't take much, Jesse, but I'm also season ticket holder and already been camp last Sunday. Okay, I love the Vanilla Gorilla out of. Oh, you talking about Ty Robinson, Chris? You talking about Ty Robinson? 9 sacks in 7 games last year is a bad man. Talking about Dexter Lawrence is more of a threat at his position than Carter. Okay, yeah. Hey, listen. To your point, Chris, the Vanilla Gorilla, Ty Robinson. I said this about a month ago. I thought that Ty Robinson. No, I said this at the beginning of training camp that I thought Ty Robinson was going to be a problem. You know what I'm saying? And apparently he had his welcome to the NFL moment during camp when when Jordan Mailata just stood his ass up and wouldn't let him go. You know what I'm saying? So there you go. Leo, that was ridiculous. Lamar, you had other QBs to choose. I said the same thing. You saw my face, Jesse. Again, going off of Terrence Parsons' advice, if we're going to take Terrence Parsons' advice, go look at the tape. Okay? Go look at the tape. All right. Forget what Leo was saying. Forget if what Leo said struck a nerve or what have you. Look at the tape. Okay. Just look at the tape. Terrence Parsons said that. You can't make this up. You cannot make this up. And it's like, Jesse, I'm shaking my head too. Like, what the hell was that? Why? But this is how they talk. This is how they think, fellas. I mean, like, come on, y'all. This is crazy. All right. This is really crazy. To sit there and have to like, huh? What? I didn't get it. You know what I'm saying? So I didn't really say too much about, the football stuff that's related to the Eagles as far as the day is concerned. I mean, really not much more to say other than, listen, we got out of camp today with no injuries or barely any that we know of at this point. You know, I don't think I've seen or heard Jeffrey Lurie at camp. You know what I'm saying? So there you have it. There's the difference. He's my favorite pick you guys got playing beside Carter is the best medicine for that guy. He will be a threat. I agree. And listen, don't sleep on Moro Ajomo. Don't sleep on Uche. Okay. Don't sleep on Nolan. Okay. Don't sleep on these guys. You can if you want to. You know what I'm saying? I think our secondary is gonna be fine. Leo, 30 plus years of denials. Yeah, Jesse, you know what I'm saying? It's been so long, they're used to it. They are used to it. You know what I'm saying? If you say anything about the Eagles, it's going to be considered a threat. And then before you know it, cats is going to start getting in their feelings and start getting possessive. This is my channel, it's my channel. Mine. Okay. Okay. All right. Just remember, you know what I'm saying? This is all on tape. All right. We can all go back. You know what I'm saying? I didn't sleep on my ex giant. I didn't get the whole Aikman conversation as well. Terrence wasn't even born during that greatness. And therein lies the crux of a lot of issues when it comes to the Dallas Hostages fan base. A lot of these people were not even born when they won the Super Bowls. Understand something. You know what I'm saying? I was in high school. No, I was in college when they won their last Super Bowl. I was in high school when they won the first one under Jimmy Johnson. Okay, so I, you know what I'm saying? Like these people are something else. You know what I'm saying? And I love it. I love it. You know what I'm saying? This mass delusion that these Dallas hostages fans are falling under. I love it. You know what I'm saying? Because I get to point it out, and it's all.
Hold on for a second.
Sorry about that again. It's all on film. That's the best part about being in the position that we are in. We can always go back and review the film. Okay. And when and there's film when Mark Holmes is falling out of his chair, because Dak done threw a pick six. And there's film that shows him, what I'm saying, yeah, Jesse, lunacy at its finest. And there's film of seeing there is film of Mark Holmes, who's probably the biggest Dak Prescott, fan out there. There's film of him going in on Dak for just a moment. He'll tell you, I want to know everybody, the whole team. Got you. And that is a conversation, but that's not the one we're having right now. The conversation that we're having right now is what was Dak's contribution to the losses? Did Dak contribute at all? You know what I'm saying? Has he contributed in years past to them losing? Not been the sole reason. Okay, I'm not going to sit there and tell you it's all Dak's fault. That's not true. But did Dak throw a pick six? Did Dak throw an interception? Did Dak mismanage a clock? Did Dak run too far and not give you guys a chance to even get a fourth down play out by spiking the ball? Did he, what I'm saying? Did Dak not say that was Dak not on film last year talking about we fucking suck? You know what I'm saying? Has Dak contributed in any way to, because understand something. He's been on this team 10 years. So that means he accounts for a third of the 30 years. A third. A third of the 30 years is under Dak Prescott's watch. And the thing that this is how messed up the Dallas Hostages fan base is, right? They are so messed up that they are more than okay with being regular season champions. Dak Prescott is 9-4. He owns the Eagles. My quarterback has been in the league half the time that he's been in the league, and he's got more playoff wins and more NFC championship appearances and more Super Bowls than the guy who's the elite quarterback playing for the Dallas Hostages, who's overpaid. Make that make sense. You know what I'm saying? Like, none of this is, again, hence why I say there is no combination of words that any Dallas Hostages fan is going to say to me that's going to make me be like, okay, yeah, this all makes sense. It don't make sense. And I don't care how much Jerry has done this and how regular this is and this is normal and all this other stuff. You're not even accounting for the effect on this team beyond the money. Leo, the worst thing about Kyle hostages is if that goes down, look at the backup coming in. What if? Isn't it Cooper Rush? Or did he go somewhere else? You know what I'm saying? They let you see Trey Lance last night? You see, I think that's where they messed up. No, you know what? No, Joe Milton, that's right. Joe Milton. That's your future right there. Joe Milton is your future QB. You know what I'm saying? That's it's not Dak. You know what I'm saying? It's Joe Milton. Y'all better pay attention to your backup QB. Mm. Y'all better pay attention to that man. You know what I'm saying? You might want to invest in that guy. For real. You may really want to think about investing in Joe Milton, building that team to be around him. That's what y'all really may want to do that. Okay? Y'all might really want to invest in Joe Milton. You know what I'm saying? Cuz he's young. You know what I'm saying? When you're getting paid the highest QB money in the league, it doesn't matter he was fourth or seventh round pick. You need to be held accountable. Absolutely. But that's not a thing in Dallas. They don't believe in that. You know what I'm saying? And listening to the fan base. It ain't gonna be long. Watch how the fan base ends up turning on Micah. Watch. Watch how the Dallas Hostages fan base turns on Micah. Mm. Jerry got the all kinds of what's the word I'm looking for? Groomed. He's groomed that fan base really, really well to accept this. These peaks and valleys and stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? They can't even trust when things are quiet. Now, remember all throughout the off season and leading up in the training camp, and even when training camp started, oh, it's different. This is different. I think we're going to the playoffs, y'all. This might be our year because you know why? We haven't heard Jerry at all. We ain't seen Jerry. It's different because this is the first season that Jerry lets the coach pick his own coaching staff. Eagle Wade will lead the charge. I believe. Listen, y'all better. Hey, Dallas Hostages fan base. Y'all better learn to start listening to Walker Wade. Okay, y'all better start listening to him. All right, he's on. Y'all gonna mess around and lose him too. You know what? Walker Wade. Shout out to Walker Wade. You know what I'm saying? Walker Wade, if you want to, you go ahead and submit your trade request too. You know what I'm saying? If you really let's see what it is. Let's see how fickle, how many tempestuous hearts we have with the Dallas Hostages fan base. For all y'all in the Dallas Hostages fan base, I want to know how many of y'all are seriously be honest, how many of y'all are seriously considering submitting your trade requests? When y'all going to submit y'all trade requests? Huh? Isn't it about that time? Shouldn't y'all be getting ready to shouldn't y'all be considering doing that? Huh? Put in y'all trade requests. See where you get to go. Leo, Jerry Jones had me fooled. Jerry Jones, listen, you saw what happened when he was at the link. We told him. You know what I'm saying? I think Jerry's doing a wonderful job. You know what I'm saying? I think he's doing a great job for me. You know what I'm saying? I'm feeling like, as an Eagles fan, I'm feeling like Jerry works for me. You know what I'm saying? Jerry is helping my team in every way he can, the best way he can. Mm. Who's to say? The evidence that I have is, did he not say a few years ago he wanted Jalen Hurts? See, that's the thing that Dallas fans don't think we forgot or think we don't know. But yeah, your owner wants our quarterback. He wanted our quarterback. You know what I'm saying? That's what he wanted. The guy he wanted leading his if Jerry would have had it his way, Jalen Hurts would be a Dallas Cowboy. Jalen Hurts would be the starting quarterback for the Dallas Cowboys and not Dak Prescott. So whenever someone says, "Oh well, y'all got a super team," if Dak was on your team, would y'all win the Super Bowl? Um, if Jalen was on your team, would you win the Super Bowl? Do you know how many current players right now are feeling like they've dodged a bullet by not being drafted by Dallas? Huh? Do you guys realize that? Do you realize? And this is the stuff that I'm talking about when I say beyond the player and the money and the guarantees, damage. You know what I'm saying? Do you know what these young boys who are getting these NIL deals are saying to themselves and whatnot? Can you imagine the next number one draft pick, the next first round draft pick you guys get? What if he finds out he's going to the Dallas Cowboys and says, "I want to go back to college"? Because he can do that. Then what? Yeah, so well. You know what I'm saying? Y'all playing these games. You forcing these players to this is listen, y'all. This ain't the 90s. You still doing business like it's the 90s. You know what I'm saying? Micah is a new age player. And these new age players, these Gen Z players and all that stuff, you know how they do things? They play things through the court of public opinion. Okay? The court of public opinion. So yeah, I think you know, and with social media and everything like that, Micah has a direct line to talk to the fan base, period. And he did just that when he made that announcement. I wanted to be the first. I wanted to bring y'all the first Super Bowl in 30 years. I wanted to be go down. I wanted that one star on my for the rest of my career, but I can't play for this team no more. Shit, shit. You know what I'm saying? Wow. So yeah, I get it, y'all. Okay, Micah not going nowhere. Blah blah blah. All right, Jerry. I think you're doing an awesome job. Keep doing what you're doing. We in Philadelphia appreciate everything that you do for us. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, Jesse Leo, social media is king for Jen Wussy. You know what I'm saying? Jerry, I really appreciate everything that you have been doing to help us against the Dallas Hostages, to include renaming the team the Dallas Hostages. You know what I'm saying? Keeping those guys hostage and unhappy. You know what I'm saying? Definitely sending messages, indirect and subliminal messages to other players on the team and other players in the league. Just keep that circus thing you got going on there. Keep making it a non-destination place. You know what I'm saying? Keep look, you even got people in your fan base who think that Troy Aikman wasn't who he ain't got the numbers. They don't respect him. They don't respect him. Terrence Parsons said it. He don't respect him. Mm. Terrence Parsons don't respect him. I'm just saying. And that's supposed to be like your Aikman's supposed to be like the sacred cow. I Jesse, I don't. You know what? These Dallas fans, go ahead. They need to submit their trade requests. Looks like the Giants are willing to pick a lot of y'all up off the waiver wire. You know what I'm saying? I don't see that happening in Philadelphia, but hey, you know what I'm saying? We're not going to put in the wait. We're not going to put a claim in for any of them. We don't want them. You know what I'm saying? Because that ugh, you know what I'm saying? But just hold on for a while. Let's see how long this takes. If Micah's not signed in the next week or so, you know what I'm saying? Then let's see how much it takes for them to get sick of hearing his name coming up in every question. You know what I'm saying? When they start making players available out there, Oxnard and everything like that. And yeah, okay. Can't wait to hear how he's going to be talking. You know what I'm saying? So look, I've been going for over an hour now. I just wanted to come on, because I said I would and I needed to, considering the things that I've been hearing today. And I just want to say, it's official. The Dallas Cowboys are no longer known as the Dallas Cowboys. They are now, for the rest of the season, going to be known as the Dallas Hostages. Okay. And the Washington Commanders are going to be known as the Washington Bum Manders. Okay. So there you go. Leo, we feeling bad for these lost souls. Jesse, let me tell you something. You know what? I'm not. And I don't want you to feel bad either, because guess what? You are not them. We are not them. We are not the same. Okay? Everything. Listen, Giants fans, y'all should be happy, because when I thought that it couldn't get as bad as it got for you guys, like there's no way it could get that bad for any team because of the way the circumstances and the way things went down, Jerry proved me wrong. So therefore, you know what I'm saying? As far as I'm concerned, the events of 2 years ago are at this point null and void. Okay. We've moved past it. You guys have been noticeably humble, and I appreciate that. I really do. That humility that you all have been demonstrating, is greatly appreciated. So I see you. But man, laughing my ass off. Trust me. With that, I'll say good night, everybody. Stay tuned. I'll be on here. I'm going to go live again probably tomorrow, and definitely if I on Mark Holmes' call-in show. But please don't forget to hit the like button, like and subscribe. If you're actually watching this when it's no longer live, but the recording, do your boy a favor and still hit that like and subscribe button. Okay, y'all take it easy. Peace. Dallas hostages. I killed myself.